In the days of old, when the ancient lands were shrouded in mist and mystery, there arose a tale of courage and defiance, of the small standing tall against the mighty. It was in the valley of Elah, where the shadows of hills loomed like ancient sentinels, that two armies faced each other, their banners fluttering like the wings of great birds of prey. The air was thick with the scent of fear and sweat, and the ground trembled under the weight of countless footsteps. Among the Philistines stood a giant, a behemoth of a man whose name was Goliath. He was clad in armor that glistened like a stormy sea, his helm adorned with the crest of his dark gods. His voice, when he spoke, was like the rumble of distant thunder, and his challenge echoed across the valley.
Why have you come out to draw up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves, and let him come down to me. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us.
His words were laced with scorn, and his laughter rolled like dark clouds gathering before a storm. For 40 days and nights he issued his challenge, and none dared to face him. The hearts of Saul's men were heavy with dread, for who among them could stand against such a beast? Yet, in the heart of this storm of fear, there was one whose spirit burned with a fire unquenched by terror. David, son of Jesse, a shepherd from the fields of Bethlehem, came to the camp, not with sword or spear, but with faith as his armor. He was but a youth, ruddy and fair, yet his eyes held a light that could not be dimmed.
Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine.
The words were bold, and those who heard them were struck with wonder. For what madness was this, that a boy would stand where grown men faltered? Yet in his voice was a strength that belied his years, a conviction as steady as the mountains.
Your servant has struck down both lions and bears, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be like one of them, for he has defied the armies of the living God.
And so it was that David, armed only with a staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones from the brook, went forth to meet the giant. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the valley, as if the very earth held its breath in anticipation. The giant looked upon the boy with disdain, his lip curling in a sneer that could wither the bravest heart. He saw not a warrior, but a child, and his pride swelled like the river in flood.
Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks? Come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and to the beasts of the field.
But David stood unshaken, his gaze unwavering as he replied, with words that rang like the clarion call of a horn before battle.
You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. And I will give the dead bodies of the host of the Philistines this day to the birds of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel, and that all this assembly may know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand.
With these words, David ran swiftly toward the giant, his hand reaching for a stone from his pouch. The battlefield was silent, the air thick with the weight of fate's decree. As Goliath advanced, his every step shaking the ground like a minor earthquake, David let loose the stone from his sling. The stone found its mark, and the mighty Goliath, who had towered like a fortress, crumbled like a wall of sand before the tide. The earth trembled as he fell, and his death was like the fall of a great tree, echoing across the valley. And so, dear friends, as we look upon the tale of David and Goliath, let us draw courage for our own battles. For in every age, in every life, there come moments when we stand in the valley, facing giants that loom large and terrible before us. These giants may not wear armor of bronze or carry spears like weavers' beams. They may be illnesses that ravage our bodies, debts that threaten to crush us, or fears that paralyze our hearts. They may be addictions that chain us, losses that hollow us, or dreams that seem forever out of reach. But remember this, you are not alone in your valley. The same God who stood with David stands with you. The same power that guided the stone to Goliath's forehead guides your steps now. The same love that saw a king in a shepherd boy sees the warrior in you. Do not measure the giants by their height, but by the shadow of the Almighty that dwarfs them. Do not count your resources, but remember the limitless strength of the one who fights for you. Do not focus on your weakness, but on his might. Take up your sling, choose your smooth stones. Face your giant with the certainty that victory does not depend on your strength, but on your faith. For it is not by might nor by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord that mountains are moved and giants fall. This too shall pass,